Okay, here we go. Let's have a go at Cornelius Nepos, Hannibal 8.2. This, when the Carthaginians discovered it, learned it, Mago, in the same which his brother absent, so Hannibal absent, punishment they'd affected. Okay, so it's supposed to be a verb there. Affect, right? Yeah, I suppose. So when the Carthaginians learned this, looks like they affected Mago with the same punishment, which was they were going to catch him. So Ili they, in dire straits, in desperate situation or circumstances, when they had sent their ships out, that means they've loosened the cables, etc., and they gave their valour, their sails, they gave to the wind, so they were now sailing. Hannibal to Antioch reached. Concerning the interretu, the death of Mago, there's a double memory has been handed down, two forms of explanations. For Ali, for some, say it was by shipwreck he died. Others, they have left written, he was interfected, he was killed by his servioles themselves, by little slaves in the diminutive, but his personal slaves. Moreover, Antiochus, the king, Tam, it probably goes to Quam, if in carrying out the war, agending the war, in his plans, he had been as much obeying, pare, if he had wanted to obey as much as he had decided in taking up this war. So if he'd obeyed Hannibal really in his plans for Tam Quam, if he had done as much in obeying Hannibal as much as he hadn't been starting this war, closer to the Tiber than to Thermopylae, where he died, he would have demarcated, he would have fought for the highest honours of the empire, so he could have obtained empire. Quam, whom Etsi, even if or although, so we'll take it as although he saw being tried many stupid things. Okay, so it looks like Hannibal saw the king doing many stupid things. Nevertheless, he didn't desert him in the matter. He didn't, desert will do. He was in charge of a few ships, that's datives, which from Syria had been ordered to Ducere to lead into Asia. And with these, against a fleet of Rhodians, or whatever you call them in English, there was a conflict, there was a battle in the Pamphilio Sea, wherever that is, in which, or during which fight, with a multitude of adversaries, the other guys, he was overwhelmed, he was superarrayed, he was overcome. But himself, in which wing of the battle he had fought himself, he was superior. So he lost the war, but he won in the little battle he was fighting in that part of the corner. 9. With ablative absolute, with Antiochus on the move, fleeing, he was fearing that, nay, are inverted with verbs of fearing that he would be surrendered or given over, which without doubt would have subjectively happened if there had been the power of them to do this. He venered to Crete. He came to Crete to a bunch of people called the Gortianinos, whoever the hell they are, so that there he could consider to where he might confer himself, take himself. However, moreover, a man most cunning in all things, he saw that fore he would be himself in magna periculo, in great trouble, unless he could foresee something, on account of the avarice of the Cretans, so he didn't trust them. Enim, for seeking with himself, he was portabating, accusatives, great pecunia, a lot of money, concerning which he was knowing that the rumour had excisid, ex mean gone out, so the rumour of this had got out, and so he capited, he took such a plan. I've got a full stop instead of anything, but anyway, he completed, he filled many amphoras with plumbo, if you know periodic table, it's lead, and he operated, he covered the summit, the top, with oro and argento, with silver and gold. Has these he placed in the temple of Diana, with all the principesses, the leading men of the city, present. He was simulating himself to be entrusting his fortunes to the fide of them. He was giving his fortunes to these people, or these temple guardians, probably the actual whole bunch of Cretans. He was trusting them. With these people induced into this error of believing it, the bronze statues which he was portabatting with himself, all his money he completed. He filled all these statues which he carried with himself full of his money. And into the propatulo, the open space of his home, the courtyard, he abdicated. He threw them there. Okay, so I've set up the propatulum here. The open place, unroofed space. Doesn't say how common it is. There's only 2 or 3 citations in Cassell's Latin Dictionary. I've got a copy of that, except it uses I's and J's, which is annoying. The Gordians, with magna cura, great care, custodied the temple. They guarded the temple. Not so much from the rest of themselves, than from Hannibal, lest he, with them in scius, with them unknowing or not knowing, that he might tolerate from them and lead all this money away secum with himself. 10. Thus, in such a way, having conserved all his rebuses, his wealth, the Poenus, the Carthaginian, I think there's a Plautan play called The Carthaginian, with the Cretans all illusioned by all these going-ons, with all the Cretans tricked, you might want to say, he reached Prusia in Pontus. Okay, so he's gone to this guy. Apud whom, when he was with him, in the same mind he was towards Italy. And neither did he agate, which comes from agate, neither did he do anything other, quicque maliud, nudus, than to arm the king and exercise these armed people against the Romanos, the Romans. When he saw the king, I'm guessing is the accusative, his domestic wealth or resources were less than robustum, he was conciliated to other kings, Keteros kings, the other kings, and he had joined with bellicose nations, that's warlike nations with other kings. Okay, he was disabating. He was in disagreement with him. Okay, so King Eumenes of Pergamum is having a fight with Prusias, it looks like, because he was most friendly to the Romans, and a war between them was waged both at sea and land. But but everywhere Eumenes was validating. He was more stronger, on account of his alliance Romanorum with the Romans. With a comparative, so that he desired even all the more Hannibal to crush him because of this, because of his alliance with the Romans, and he was stronger. Land and sea, and by means 2 places. Which, if you remove this guy, all the more easier it would be for the Catara, the rest of the things he was thinking to himself. To killing this guy, such a rationale or reasoning he entered into, he inundated. And that's it for the day.